What's up? So I'm here for month number three's overview. We have completed 3 months in this challenge. Now thinking about it, if we go one more month, on the fourth month, we'll be 1/3 of the challenge finished. So how the month overview goes, I usually talk about my financial progress, my physical progress, and I'd say just knowledge of the whole world progress. Let me fix this camera. So, starting off with my financial progress. That to me is nothing but just my trading journey that I've embarked on since the beginning of this challenge. Now, in terms of my financial progress, I'd say money, I'm not making. Learning, a lot. And so in this month number 3 so far, I did make a pretty big mistake, which is forward testing too fast. And I think it's important to at least define back testing and forward testing in the context of me talking about it right now. So back testing, I believe, is going through hindsight data, and wherever you're looking for, whether it's support and resistance, where price was supported, where price was resisted. If you're a supply and demand trader, fill in the gaps of support and resistance with supply and demand and how price reacted to the ideas that you've learned. So I believe that's back testing. Now forward testing, I feel like there's two categories of forward testing, which is replay mode. I believe that's still forward testing, especially in FX replay, because you don't know what price is going to do. So you are pretty much forward testing without the benefit of hindsight. Now, I believe the second form of forward testing is the demo trading of live market data. So these are the different definitions I have. So forward testing, I have 2 definitions, back testing 1 definition. And my big mistake of month number 3 was to forward test too fast. So I was in FX Replay, which is a back testing app. I call it forward testing. And I just started back testing, or forward testing, sorry. And I created a bunch of bad habits. I had the habit of jumping on price too fast, clicking the button too fast, watching the demo the demo dollars go up and down, and have the dopamine hit of over leveraging on this demo on the demo money, and not a good idea. So I did that for maybe a week and a half, and then I caught myself and I was like, this is building bad habits. So what I did was I understood my infancy in my understanding, so I stepped back a little bit, and then I redirected myself on things that was important, which was reading price action. And I believe I had to back test a little bit more, which is go in hindsight and see what concepts that I've learned work in real-time data. Not real-time data, old data, but how the ideas have supported each other in the theories and the concepts of how it's played out, why it worked, why it shouldn't have worked, all these things like that. So in terms of my finances, just to summarize it up, it was going really good until I started a bad habit, but we got back on track, and now we are trying to solidify our foundation correctly so we're not building bad habits for the future, so we can fast track our progress to being profitable. So what we're doing is we're learning a little bit more, making it a lot more easier for us to see the concepts and not fight on ourselves on the clarity of the things that we learn. So with that being in my finance journey so far, I think it was good the fact that I redirected myself in that way, because if I didn't, it would have built another bad habit. And now all I gotta focus on right now is reading price action, see how price reacts to different things, and not press a single button, even if it's demo trade. I just gotta back test. So that's what I'm gonna do, and that's what I have been doing, and that's what I've taught myself that I need to do more of, which is study better. So in terms of my finances, that's how it's going. Finances, just my trading knowledge, really good though so far. I've corrected myself, and now we are making progress. We're back on making progress. Let's go on topic number 2. I'm going to keep this video kind of short. I don't think I'm going to ramble or give a lot of lectures on this video in specific. In terms of physicality, amazing. Honestly, we're just filling in the muscle now. So I was 126 when I first started, which was 3 months ago, 12 weeks ago to be specific. And I went from 126 now to a steady 140 to 143, around that range every single day. So all we're doing is honestly just turning all the excess fat that we had, that we put on quite fast, into muscle, and we're staying at a steady weight, at a healthy weight, to not gain any more fat or weight, but turn what we have into muscle. And physically, I'm getting more filled in. I'm feeling a lot bigger. My clothes are getting a little bit tighter, and my strength is also increasing. And that's what we're doing. You know, we find a good happy medium of going 3 days to the boxing gym, 3 days to the weight gym. So we have intertwined those two things, and it's working quite great for me, to be honest. So I'm pretty happy about that. And that's the physicality part. I feel a lot better now. In the month number 3, there was a time where I was pretty much sick for like 4 days. I was very sick, and things were a little bit hard to do, and I actually lost a lot of weight. I lost like 4 pounds, 5 pounds maybe, but we gained it back up. We kept working. We kept working out while we were sick, which actually helped a lot. Sometimes it was hard to focus, but you know, we went through it. Also on month number 3, big blunder on my part, where somehow I accidentally deleted I accidentally deleted all the footage that I had since I first started this challenge. So after week number 11, day number 3, I still remember right now, is the first day I actually got to start recording everything again. So all the footage that I had before that, all the Instagram reels that I've ever made, all the videos and clips that I had from the beginning of this challenge has just completely been deleted. The only thing that's there that I have the footage of on the internet is obviously the Instagram account that I have the reels made on, but also the YouTube channel and what videos I've posted thus far. So that's a big blunder that I was talking about in month number 3. But back to the physicality, boxing's feeling a lot better. I'm getting better on my technique. I'm being a little bit more consistent than I've ever been in my life on this one thing. Usually I would go maybe 4, 5 times, sometimes 6 times a day, but then on and off. But this time, for 3 months straight, I've been going 6 days a week, quite frequently, with the exception of maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I hit maybe like 4 times a week, 3 times a week. Barely though. Majority of the time I'm hitting 6 days a week, every single week. So that's really good stuff. Learning a lot about weight training now. Something that I've been introduced to newly. I've been boxing since maybe I was 18. So I'd say, to be fair, I've been boxing for about 3 years, 4 years, maybe 2.5, 3 years, because I did take some time off, but in terms of when I started, around 18, 17. So now being 21 and actually going into boxing every single day, things have kind of changed a little bit for me, for my mentality, and in terms of consistency, obviously, because you need to be consistent, and there's a lot of clarity that actually follows as a byproduct of working out. Obviously, there's been studies done on working out and studying, so these two things kind of go hand in hand, and it would be pretty obvious why they would, right? Because your brain is part of your body. If you take care of your body, you're pretty much taking care of your brain, which helps you think. So in that logical order, it makes sense on why. But in more scientific ideas of what terms does it actually help, I believe it's your cognitive ability, your decision-making ability, your memory, things of that nature. That's the only things I can list on top of my head. So that's the helpful part of that's the helpful part of working while learning something or studying and stuff like that. So that's pretty much my physicality part down. So we got the finances down, we got the working out, physicality part down, and now just information about the world. So as you guys do know, now Trump has been president. So I'm not here to talk politics. I could honestly care less. I save those conversations with people that are dear and close to me, and I don't really I don't really talk too much politics with random people or online just to be online and yeah, no. But objectively thinking about it, there's rumors and whispers that are here in the marketplace that the next year, 2025, huge year. It's going to be a huge year just because Trump's president. The economy is going to go up. And then the year after that, too, just because of his presidency until another Senate person in Senate goes because something about the House, the Senate changes every 2 years. Well, I'm not too competent on that yet, but I'm guessing something like that. But next year is pretty much going to be crazy. That's what I'm hearing. So objectively, that's interesting to see. What else have I pretty much learned? I learned quite a few things actually. I finished my book that I was reading. I started reading 1 hour a day every single day. I did that for like about a week. I'm probably gonna pick that up again, to be honest. I feel like it's very important. Now I'm reading a new book by Dan Pena. Something about making your first 100 million or something like that. But very interesting book, very interesting individual, Dan Pena himself. Pia, I believe. I might be saying his name wrong. I apologize. Dan Pia, maybe. So, I mean, all I really do is kind of just discover bits of information and knowledge and kind of piece them together with my experience of life. So, in terms of doing that, there's a lot of different fractal moments that I can kind of try to name, but it's not going to make sense in the overall conversation because it's more of a personalized development of understanding the nature of reality. So in that way, I could try to explain it, but you kind of just learn a lot about yourself and hard work. So something I can touch on quite honestly about this month is I learned about myself that I'm not working as hard as I think I am. So going online, seeing people like Dan Pia work 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, straight for 120-hour work weeks with the S, and seeing how much I work, I believe that I can do a lot more. So what I've done is I refined my schedule to wake up at 5 o'clock now. Now, this is something that I'm trying to create as a habit. This is something that I'm doing. And yeah, I realized I'm not working as hard as I believe so. Now I gotta work harder, level up more. So 3 months have finished. Now I said that in the overall grand scheme of things, I wanted to study for 6 months and then at least forward test, back test, demo trade for the next 6 months after that to then be ready to actually trade. I'll give myself the caveat of if I'm profitable demo trading within 3 months consistently, then I could go to a funded account or we could do something live with a good small amount of money. We'll see. But I think that's a long ways to go right now. We have a lot more pressing matters to take care of with a bunch of gaps and holes and lack of experience in the education. But going back to, I guess, philosophy in a way, just learn things about the world and the nature of things and actually being comfortable with myself, and on top of that, being comfortable being alone. This month I did learn a important lesson of sacrifice. Very, very important. There was a small moment where I almost folded and I almost went outside with a couple of friends when I wasn't supposed to. And last minute I thought to myself, this isn't right because this goes against my rules of going out. And it was weird how I rationalized that concept too when I was going to go out. I rationalized it like it's okay, I could go out. I've been, this and that. And then I thought to myself, I'm like, this goes against my rules and what I stand for and what I built this YouTube channel on. So if I go, I have failed this challenge and I have to come back to you guys and say I failed this challenge. And if I don't tell you guys I failed this challenge, I will base my career on being a fraud. So I didn't do it, and then now here I am. It was very difficult to say no. I thought I was doing the right thing, and I ended up doing the right thing, came back home, and I was happy I made that sacrifice of going out with my friends and even rationalizing it to a degree. So that's something important that I learned about just human nature in a way, because I love to observe myself in many ways, I try to, at least. Not perfect, by the way, but it's funny how we rationalize things, even though we know it's wrong, to then later on make the decision to understand we're wrong after doing it, while knowing we're making that decision that it's wrong. So you can find a million and one reasons to do something that you're not supposed to do, but you know deep down you're not supposed to do it. And the hardest thing to do is say no and keep your morality and your word in check all the time, because I believe being a man of your word is something that's practiced forever. So I'll give you an example of how fragile this whole concept is. I give you my word, I'm gonna lock in for a whole year, right? I could do it for 364 days straight and never fail. And you've got my word. But on the 365th day, I didn't lock in and I failed the challenge. Now, was I not consistent the whole time with my word of holding it as a man through 364 days? I was, until I made that one decision on the last day to not do it. So that's how frail these concepts are. Even the concept of love and loyalty. You could be loyal for 1 year and then you could cheat on 366th day. You could cheat and then you're disloyal. But does that mean you were disloyal on 365 days of being a loyal partner? No, you were still loyal until you weren't that one day. So it's a very fragile concept, I believe. It's something that has to be practiced every single day with care, and just self-development that I've been going through is pretty crazy. Understanding it, life has changed drastically. When I say drastically, imagine living in the heart of New York City. Fast, lights, loud, commotion, rude people, nice people, women, all these buildings. You got all these businesses. You have all these, so many lights in Times Square. Think about Times Square on the most rush hour part. Honking everywhere, bikes everywhere, people talking. And then imagine moving to the suburbs in the countryside. That's a metaphor for how my life went. New York lifestyle, countryside lifestyle. What does that mean? Really fast paced, quite destructive to be quite frank, really quiet, and just I'm able to see a lot of things. So big pluses. I understand that being yourself isn't bad at all, but the only thing is that you gotta stay true to yourself. And if you don't give yourself time to learn about yourself, how are you going to really understand who you are? You have to create space in your life to understand who you are. And sometimes that's hard to do with social media, with outside influences of people that you're not even close to. So these are different things you have to take into account when understanding the journey of self-development. I believe so. I'm absolutely convicted on what I'm saying, but I'm only convicted on the experiences that I've experienced with my reality. I believe that I give pretty good advice, but I'm only giving the advice through experience of what I've learned. Don't take everything I say like, oh, this is the gospel. Probably people aren't anyways, but for the people that might be, you can take things with a grain of salt, because I'm still developing, but I'll say that I made it quite far and I did things that are quite hard. And to the understanding of my knowledge at the current position that I'm in my life, I'm just speaking on the reality of that. So, and the reality that I'm living now is actually complete opposite of what everybody else is doing. And to explain what the complete opposite is in a quick summary, zero social media, not going out at all, no movies, no TV shows, nothing. So all I really do, learn trading, learn about the world, work out. So those are the only 3 actions that I am confined to through my day-to-day process, which only allows me to grow in those 3 categories by default, because there's nothing else I can do. So my brain has fundamentally also changed. It's been a little bit easier to do hard work because I'm not getting cheap dopamine. So when I do something hard and I achieve a milestone, which is actually quite great, in my heart, I know that it's a big milestone, but it took me a long time to get there. I feel this big hit of dopamine that I got that wasn't distilled through like cheap dopamine. So let me give an example, right? And numerical values. So imagine you get cheap, like 5, okay, so you work, so cheap dopamine hits, right? Imagine you're on your phone, right? You get 1 dopamine hit looking at something, 2, 3, 4, 5 little dopamine hits each time in this time period of, like, let's say an hour. Now, let's change it to 1 big dopamine hit at the end of the hour. So you section off 60 minutes into 5, divide that by 5, and every single section on that time, you get a cheap dopamine hit, which adds up to 5. Now, change that out with the same hour of work with something more difficult, and you get no dopamine for the first 59 minutes, and at the end of 60 minutes, you get big dopamine hit, which is pretty much the sum total of the 5 that you got of the cheap dopamine hit. So all the cheap dopamine hits 5 times that you get all that into 1 at the end of 59 minutes. That's what I believe has changed for me fundamentally in my mind and my mindset of the chemical balances of which governed my habitual nature. So now it's easy for me to do hard things because of that habit pattern of working hard to get something, and then also kind of having a way which I reward myself in a way. And yeah, I think it's pretty good. Also challenge yourself in a way which is kind of hard, but not hard enough to make you want to quit. It's like this happy medium of trying hard enough and having something hard enough that challenges you, but isn't too challenging for you to just want to quit. So it's like this happy medium of struggling to understand. And I'm just talking in terms of actually everything. So in terms of my knowledge and understanding about the world, nature of reality, in terms of my trading education, and in terms of working out too. So this bleeds into everything here. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up for this month though. This month was a lot more about refining, a lot more about understanding, a lot more about being a little bit more comfortable with the situation I am in and embracing that. And also this month was really about understanding that sacrifice is the currency to success. As you buy food with money, you buy success with currency. More sacrifices you make, the more money you have. The more success you get, the more food you buy, in that analogy. So with that being said, that's the end of month number 3. We are starting on month number 4 now. So I'll see you guys in the next week's video, which is going to be month number 13, not month number 13, week number 13, month number 4, day number 1. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed the series. We're 3 months in. We're doing this year. Who said I can't do it? Not many people, because people know who I am. But the people who doubted me, let's see. I'm gonna do this for a whole year. I promise everybody I'm doing this for a whole year, and I'm doing it. And this is great, guys. We're on the journey. I'm doing this also to motivate the people. You guys see me doing it. You guys see me getting more fit. Maybe this flex isn't as impressive, but I'm still getting there. You guys literally see me get big. If you go back to the first video, 15-pound difference. I'm literally getting smart. I'm reading books. I'm literally learning how to trade. I've given up everything of the societal norms. You guys can do it too. I'm literally doing it live right now for you guys. I'm doing it for myself, but the reason I'm recording and posting it is literally for you at home watching. So you watching right now, do it if you want. You want to become the person you want, do it. If you don't do it, it'll never happen. So only you can make it happen, or you're the only person that can stop yourself from making it happen. Make it happen, lock in, or don't. I don't care. If you lock in, I'll see you at the top next video.